Hi there. If this is your first time listening, this podcast is for those aged 18 or older and may talk about mature topics and have lots of bad language. So, if you're not 18, you should probably go ahead and get out of here, you fucking cunt!
Just to put it in perspective as to how fucking unbearable it's going to be for me right now, it's 25 degrees Celsius right now, which is like 77 degrees Fahrenheit comparison, and it's only 9 a.m.
See, this is why I have a fan in this booth. I don't have it on for recording lines and stuff, but I have it on for like in between as well as podcasts because, you know.
I need to invest in that because it is set to get to, brace yourselves here, 91.4 degrees Fahrenheit at the top of today.
You're listening to 91.4.
That's fucking Texas summer weather.
This is fucking New Jersey weather.
It is only like the middle of October, and that's the top of what it is meant to be today.
I can see why it's cooling down here in Texas, because I guess we sent the heat over your way.
Yeah, it's just like, it's unbearable. I'm in my booth right now. As soon as I got in, I was just like, oh god, I remember why recording in the booth during summer is a nightmare. It's gonna be so bad, and it is going to be the worst kind of thing to record the Welcome to the Chaotically Queer podcast, the only podcast where everybody needs to manage to do this except for me, apparently.
I knew you were going there. I was just like, let her cook.
Let her cook.
Yes, I have not done one of these. I have not done one of these since like podcast number 3 or something like that.
It was like, stay on target. Stay on target.
I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was fucking doing, and I was just like, don't you fuckers interrupt me right now, otherwise it's gonna frick.
Listen, I got the first false start. I am so happy.
I got nothing. I lose. Good day, sir.
Jazzy, you fucking won like 3 podcasts in a row. I think you are good.
But I want more!
Damn.
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Get one!
Oh my god. Anyway, hi everyone. It is the October podcast.
Happy Spooks Month!
It is a spooky month.
We're here to trans your gender. Ooh.
Let's just say the shit I went through a couple weeks ago, that was spooky.
What happened? Was I aware?
Oh yeah?
Oh, did you not see Twitter? I got canceled for a second time.
Oh!
Fam, I've not been on Twitter in weeks.
Okay, so this is... So none of y'all saw... So neither of you saw this?
No, I've been on Blue Sky for like a month now, exclusively.
Oh, I don't think... Do I follow you on Blue Sky? I should probably follow you.
I think Missy only follows me on Blue Sky. I think I'll need to send you mine.
Yeah. But anyway, so...
Funny enough, the both of you follow me, so it should be easy.
So, you guys are both in for a trip. So, sit back, relax, and let me tell you what happened. Because this will be interesting, because I talked about it on Gals a week or so ago, and both co-hosts knew what had happened beforehand, so this is going to be interesting.
Oh dear.
Oh boy. Here we
go. Should I clench?
Oh, you probably should, because it's I laugh about it now, but it was the most stress-inducing plus infuriating thing to deal with. This was like a couple weeks back, like beginning of the month, if not like the end of September, I think, so.
Oh boy.
Okay, so, as you may have seen in indie gaming news, Yandere Dev did a bad thing. And what else is new?
Oh, I think it's coming back
vaguely
to me
aware
now.
this has happened.
Okay, so what happened was, a bunch of the voice actors left, and a lot of them were getting harassed by folks, mainly on the a lot of folks, especially towards the women in the cast, because of course it's fucking happening to the women mainly. But
obviously,
but anyway, it's primarily Michaela Laws who is the voice of the title character in the game. When she announced
Right.
she was leaving, she was getting flooded with a lot of comments saying it's like, "Oh, why'd you wait until now to do it?" It's like, "Why did you
Fuck
take so
off.
long?" And I saw a lot of that going on directed towards. I saw a lot of it directed towards Michaela. I saw a bit of it directed toward PM Seymour as well. But it was all around, mostly Michaela because she's the title character and she's a woman. You're gonna be like
Right.
chuds on the internet are gonna harass the woman first. So anyway,
Have we
What
learned
else is
nothing?
new?
so anyway, I did a post on my Twitter basically saying, people who are giving her shit for only leaving now need to fuck off. Like, not everyone has the same access to the same information as you do. And considering a lot of this was via the internet, like, this, keep in mind, I'm about to say what I'm about to say with a lot of speculation, and I could be wrong here, but a lot of the Yandere dev shit that became well known about him up to this point was just him being kind of cringe. This was the first one where not only was the fact that he was a fucking like a fucking felon basically
Uh-huh.
and committing a crime, but the fact that there was such solid evidence that is irrefutable.
Right.
So it's obvious why this is kind of the moment where pretty much all the cast is like, I'm out. So, So I just said, look, not everyone goes on YouTube and looks up fucking Yandere sim videos about all the drama going on 24/7. I've only seen a couple, and I feel like even then I only got like the bare minimum surface level of that shit,
Right.
Like I don't feel like I know everything about it, nor do I really want to.
You
Like,
really don't.
Like, this is just my perspective. I'm not the type of person who researches about clowns on the internet. I don't care to watch documentaries on Chris Chan. I don't care to watch Yandere sim videos. It's just not what I like enjoying because it puts me in a bad mood. So, I was purely speaking from my perspective.
Imagine that.
Yeah, so I was purely speaking from my perspective of it is entirely possible that they just didn't know, and that and as long as that possibility exists, you shouldn't give them shit for it. Well, a bunch of people, a lot of which were in a fandom of something I voiced in. I'm not going to name names, but you probably know which one it is. So,
Yep, don't need to say it.
basically, were giving me shit for what I said. And a lot of them misconstrued it to me defending Yandere dev.
Because internet
That's how that
debuff and
works.
subtlety is dead.
Right. I was saying, all I was saying is don't harass the fucking actors. That was literally all I said. It was so, and I laugh about it now and kind of say how ridiculous it is, but it's making me realize, well, one, made me realize how much I hate Twitter, so now I'm kind of prioritizing Blue Sky a bit, so.
Good.
Honestly, a good decision.
Because regardless of Elon's own problems with this, problems that are specific to Elon, this site has a lot more, is just a fucking cesspool no matter who's running it, so.
Yes.
And I kind of came to that realization through this situation that this site fucking sucks no matter who's running it because the people on here are terrible.
I'll be entirely honest, and I don't know if I've said this out loud, but at this point, my Twitter account is still there, but I do not post there, and it's literally only there because you can't put Blue Sky links yet into card-based websites.
Right. And the reason why
that is the only thing. The only reason why my Twitter account is still active, and it's so stupid, is just so there's not a dead link on my website.
Yeah, and it was just so frustrating because I see a lot of these posts pretty much dragging my name through the mud. some comparing me to a certain voice actor I replaced in a big role like a year ago.
What the fuck?
Who
Actually,
I
what
remind
the
you,
fuck?
who I will remind you, this individual was fired for being a fucking racist. Like,
Yeah.
and it was just a mess. Like, this entire thing was just so stressful. And originally, I was just gonna say, I did a post saying, "Fuck it, I am moving to Blue Sky for a bit. I'm not gonna post on here for a while because
Mhm.
I'm just done with this site. I'm done with people." And people fucking use that against me.
They were just like,
As
"Oh,
like
you're
as
going to another social media site because you can't
the,
handle it here."
because I couldn't handle criticism for defending someone who I was not defending.
Yo, fuck
And
them.
yeah, eventually I did a post saying pretty much just re-clarifying everything I said. I said,
Clearly,
look,
because people don't understand what I meant.
right. I said I wasn't defending Yandere Dev. I was defending the cast members who were getting harassed because I am against harassment. And here's the and I said, no, I don't know why they took as long as they did to leave the game. It's none of my fucking business. Like, I don't. It's weird because I'm gonna sound pretentious, but the entire situation gave me this kind of weird epiphany. Like,
Oh, do
where
go on.
social media has created this atmosphere that we need to know every little thing about every single person, and if they don't measure up to our standards and don't do things when we feel like they should, no matter their reason or no matter how much they know, how little they know, how or what's going on, that it doesn't matter because they should have known because we knew, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that is entirely consistent with the current state.
And I understand when I say all that, I sound like a fucking boomer. But you know what? There are days where sounding like a boomer is actually kind of based at this point. I'm sad we're at this point.
I
but...
want to actually make a comment on that. It's not that we're sounding like boomers. Because if we were sounding like boomers, we would sound like we don't understand it and it scares us and we don't want to know more about it. And it's let me put it to you like this. We're being a lot more reasonable than boomers ever were about their comprehension and understanding about certain topics. Like, we're not looking at a certain topic and saying, I see it and I do not want to know about it, and I will irrationally hate it because I don't know anything about it and it scares me. Meanwhile, we're just sitting here like, I unfortunately know about what's going on here, and I hate it rationally because nobody will shut the fuck up about it online.
Pretty much. And it's like, it's just, like I said, it's ridiculous that all I said was that, don't harass the actors, stop putting them on blast because they waited they waited longer than you personally felt necessary to leave this project. They're gone now. It doesn't fucking matter at this point.
Well, also,
Yes.
It's bullshit that it's like, oh, they keep on moving the goalposts in order to make sure that they're constantly in the right in those circumstances. Like, oh, they came out about these things. Okay, why did they leave sooner? They explain why they didn't leave sooner, and then they make up another bullshit explanation as to why they're actually in the wrong. It's fucked.
Right, and I remember like someone was bringing up this situation where one of the actors I was defending, I guess, defended someone who turned out to be problematic, and then once they saw it, that the actor apologized. But
How long ago was this?
I think it was like a few months to a year ago, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
and I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, okay, well, this person defended an individual who they didn't realize was problematic, and then when information was presented to them, they were like, "You're right, sorry, my bad." And I'm like, "That's fine. There's nothing wrong. Like, they did a bad and apologize. I'm not gonna give someone shit for something they've long apologized for."
And that is another thing that I have noticed about the internet as a whole. It's astonishingly common how God, how do I put this most succinctly? It feels very much like purity politics.
Oh,
Where-
absolutely. Absolutely, it is. Go ahead, sorry.
Where like, no matter whether a situation was resolved or how long it happened, people change.
Right.
If you learn one thing about a podcast hosted by 3 queer women, it's that people change over time.
Right. And it's so ridiculous. Like, and the fact that I've had 2 instances of people trying to drag my ass through the mud, and they're for stupid reasons. The first one was because I was in a yaoi game, so I fired back by being in another one and casting for it.
Which is honestly fucking boss.
Yeah, seriously. Just like my favorite thing to do if people ever fucking call me out, if I ever make it that big and I get like harassment, is just to double down on everything. Like, oh no, I'm a trans gay voice actress. Yeah, so fucking what? I'm gonna double down on it and just piss you off even more. Fuck you.
Right, and I don't know how I'm gonna double down on this one. Maybe I'll end up voicing in something with one of the actors I ended up defending. That'd be a pretty boss thing to do.
That would actually be pretty fucking cool, not gonna lie.
Like, actually, funny enough, a few of the folks involved in that situation, a couple of the voice actors ended up following me on Blue Sky, so that was a pretty big win. So
Neat.
Get to know the people who are worth knowing.
Fuck yeah. No, they're cool. They're cool. It's like, oh, they were in a project with run by a person who was problematic. Join the fuck. Let me just say this as a voice actor who's been in a lot of shit. Join the fucking club.
Right. So I think it's something a lot of people don't stop and think about is that we're freelancers. A lot of the time we get hired on to do a job. We are not hired on to be the personal friend of the people who run the project.
Like, I remember, I'm not going to name
it's
this.
It's not that personal.
I'm not going to name the project that this happened in, but there was a project I was in where as soon as it was announced I was in the cast, I got a message from someone on Twitter that was like, yo, you need to get out of there because like one of the producers on this project is this guy, and they were on a project that apparently fell apart and some shit like that, yada yada yada. And I'm like, okay, I'll keep an eye out. But so far I've had no reason to like they've given me no reason to like yeet myself out of this role. So
yeah, and also like trust like sure, we can appreciate your concern. However, trust us to be adults.
Well, I also go ahead, sorry.
Like, a lot of us are more well-connected on our end than most people who look on from the outside ever see.
Right, and I also speak from the perspective of someone who has been in a project that fell apart due to a problematic individual, and that eventually led to the mass exodus of the entire voice cast. So I'm a bit more sympathetic when a situation like that pops up.
I would hazard a guess that the number of voice actors who have gone through that situation, myself included, vastly outnumber the people who haven't. And I also envy the people who haven't gone through that.
Oh, 100%. Like, I don't mind name dropping this project because it's a long dead project and no one gives a shit if I do. I was part of a series called Cirque de Monstro, and it had a pretty stacked voice cast, like including a bunch of folks I won't name because I don't want to mention that they were involved in this without their permission, but they were a bunch of folks that I generally looked up to in my voice acting career, some major inspirations for me. So I was very excited, but the person running it was just complete terrible fucking person. And
I remember you being a part of that project actually.
Yeah, and it was just a mess, and like something happened where we found out something about the person running it, and like it got bad enough that that everyone pretty much left, myself included.
Yeah, I remember there was like a fucking mass exodus of voice actors that day.
Not only voice actors, but animators as well, because the person treated the animators like shit. So
Oh my god. Oh yeah, that's right.
Treat your animators well. God damn it.
Jazzy, how the fuck does this keep happening?
I don't fucking know. It's
I almost spit water all over my fucking monitor.
well, it's funny because like and you know that story ended up having a kind of a funny ending for me, because I ended up getting in one of the former actors for the character I was voicing at the time of me leaving. One of the former actors for that character got in contact with me after everything blew over, and we kind of talked about our own experiences. So
Sick.
it's like everyone from who was in that project all came out with fucking battle scars, and
God, I'm so fucking sorry.
it's whatever, but it's because of that experience. And apparently, yeah, once shit hit the fan and everyone was leaving, it was then revealed that this person did a lot of bad stuff dating back to well before this project happened, but we just didn't know about it until after the fact. So I'm more sympathetic to the idea that it is entirely possible that there's just some information that people just don't fucking know, because not everyone is as terminally online as the rest of us. Let's be real. So
yeah. Yep, 100%. And like the least you can do is be sympathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Turns towards the camera.
Yeah. So that was the story of my second cancellation. I'll be back here in a year about the third, I'm sure.
Given how things are with that one, I wouldn't be surprised if we're back here like a year, next year with like your third cancellation or something like that.
I'm just wondering what the fuck I'm gonna do, and what is it gonna be misconstrued as? Like, just place your bets at this point.
Hopefully, Blue Sky winds up being a better platform, just because there's no rage baiting meta.
I will tell you what your next cancellation is not going to be about, though.
I'm fascinated. What is it not going to be?
Marathoning Ghibli movies and talking about it on a podcast.
Oh, great segue! Fuck yes, 10 out of 10. So we started showing Missy Ghibli movies. Specifically, about a couple weeks ago, I believe we showed her Naussica of the Valley of the Wind, and 3 weeks. And 3 weeks, and my Boston accent came out hard when I just said Naussica. Like that was a hard no.
Jazzy, you're in a Beantown's coming out.
There have been many instances where my native accent comes out. It's hilarious.
It's funny because I don't often actually pick up, or like I'm not around when your Boston accent like shows up, because I know what the Boston accent sounds like. I have family in Boston and like from Boston, so like it's such a familiar sound.
No, there's
me. I don't often hear it from you.
Well, it's because I like it mainly comes from the fact that a lot of my family was from Boston, but also the fact that I didn't grow up there necessarily. I grew up in Colorado, so.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So it only really comes out in occasional slips, or it'll come out if I'm drunk, which hasn't happened in forever. So. No, like if I get fucking smashed, that accent is coming out full force. I sound like the angriest drunk, even if I'm not saying anything aggressive.
That's awesome.
Anyway, Naussica.
Yeah. God.
Naussica, Valley of the Wind.
Yeah, like That was a fucking time, honestly. Speaking of someone who had to-
Technically not a Ghibli movie
Yeah,
yet, but it's
Okay. Actually, it's technically the progenitor of all the Ghibli movies because it was Miyazaki's
we did it,
first
everybody.
movie.
We got Chloe to actually me.
Is that what
Yay.
that fucking was? Was that just a ploy?
Okay, it wasn't a Ghibli movie when it came out. However, it's been retroactively considered one. It is part of the lineup, and if you have a modern home video release, no matter where the fuck you're from, it's called a Studio Ghibli film. So yes, it is.
Thematically and visually, it is indistinguishable from most other Ghibli films.
Look, it has the team behind it. It was written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki. It's a fucking
And
Ghibli movie.
And in post Ghibli formation releases of the film, they even added in the Studio Ghibli logo at the beginning, so it is
Oh,
one.
really?
Yeah, like even in the one we watched, it had it.
Yeah.
I don't
So
remember.
it's the blue screen with Totoro just staring into the distance, wondering what went wrong in his life.
Yeah, I also blue screened.
Oh my-
So Missy, what did you think of the totally a Studio Ghibli film, Nausica of the Valley of the Wind?
It was a Studio Ghibli movie. Like, I'm just going to reiterate what I said as like a throwaway bit like 30 seconds ago. Thematically, visually, voice cast and music as well. Like it is functionally a Studio Ghibli film with all the accolades that come with it.
Yeah,
I thought
but
it was
did you?
excellent.
I was gonna say, but did you like it though?
Yeah. Yeah, very much so, yes.
I think the interesting thing watching this is that you can definitely tell that this is the work of a first-time filmmaker, because there are just some you could tell it, like, just in hindsight, after if you've seen a lot of Miyazaki's later works, you can tell that this was his first film, because it
Yeah.
does feel like he was kind of getting over some bumps of a first-time director. That being said, holy fucking shit, what a good debut.
It's a movie that it's got a lot of empty space, which to my recollection doesn't show up as much in later films. There's a lot more rounding out of even just ordinary scenery, but that movie did so much with so little.
Absolutely. I kind of like the fact that in the dub, Jack Skellington provides the voice of a man with a permanent smirk. So
Fuck, you are right.
And even that, I still think of Chris Sarandon as Humperdinck.
I do too. Whenever I'm referring to Chris Sarandon, I switch between like two movies. I either reference Princess Bride or Nightmare Before Christmas. I did the same thing when I watched Child's Play for the first time.
Oh, Missy.
Uh-huh.
You
Uh-huh.
remember the thing that you were gonna ask Jazzy? You say you guys are on topic about fucking
I
Jack
did.
Skellington?
I actually did earlier, and like I am Jazzy wound up looking it up, and
Oh my god.
like I'm not the only one who misremembers. All right. I'm gonna fucking call myself out for 1 second. So the song "This Is Halloween," right? The opening song of The Nightmare Before Christmas, the big ensemble number at the start. The world building song, if you will.
Yes.
I have been under a Mandela effect for at least 10 years. It's been a while since I've watched Nightmare Before Christmas, which just kind of obvious. I have all of Jack's Lament memorized, though. I have
Same,
it
though.
memorized, and I've like that song has been my benchmark for my singing ability for 13 years now.
Are we the same person? Because me too.
Oh my god. But yes, like, you just messaged me at one point, like, earlier this week, being all like, hey.
So The first 3 words of This Is Halloween are boys and girls
Yes.
of every age. Wouldn't
Would
you like to see something strange?
Come with us and you will
I
see this our town of
misheard.
Halloween. This is Halloween. This is
misheard.
Halloween.
Chloe, will you kindly shut the fuck up?
I'm sorry.
Damn!
I'm busy putting myself on blast. Do you realize how much dignity I am sacrificing for this?
Okay.
Damn!
Okay, fair. I had to just get the obligatory thing because we're doing this in October.
I know. Are you done?
Yes, I am done. You can continue.
Damn!
I misheard it. I misheard it as ghosts and ghouls of every age. Which also kind of sounds thematically right. But I was also talking with Jazzy shortly before we started that, like, Danny Elfman writes tacky lyrics on occasion. He does not write them necessarily that tacky.
With you so far?
That's the entire thought.
Oh, okay.
You wound up looking it up, though.
Yeah. And well, here's the thing. I don't think a lot of people confused it, like, also had that kind of weird Mandela effect memory. I think what happened was, I mean, a few people did, but I think what happened was they got confused because sometimes when, like, a store is doing a sale or there's some promotion for some Nightmare Before Christmas related thing, the first sentence will usually be, ghouls and ghosts of every age or whatever.
The 2 genders.
Yes, ghouls and ghosts. I mean, there's literally a movie called Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, and it's meant to be a play on Girl School, so there you go, 2 genders. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I had to remember that Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School was a thing for that comment.
No. I remember that one too. I also remember the reluctant werewolf as well.
Dude, the reluctant werewolf was the shit, okay?
Okay, we can talk about that like afterwards. Otherwise, we're gonna get into we're gonna get into like a Russian doll of tangents if we keep on going. So like, let's keep on track.
A matryoshka of tangents?
Yes.
Fine. Well, why do you have me here if not for my ADHD of changing subject matter? Speaking of which, I've been playing Bloodborne
Jazzy, give
for
me
Halloween.
back my ADHD.
I've been playing Bloodborne for Halloween.
Yes!
Oh god, no! It happened regardless. I hate this.
Why do you have me here if not for that?
We're all liable for that, Jazzy. You do realize
Jazzy.
that.
Jazzy, because we care about you and we enjoy having you here.
Yes.
Is this an intervention? Is this an intervention?
No.
Okay.
It
You're not
is
gonna
letting you know that you are loved.
This sounds like an intervention.
Look, we just care about you a lot, Jazzy.
I don't have a problem.
Flo, you're making it worse!
I don't have a problem. I can quit Bloodborne whenever I want.
Yes, but can you quit tangenting challenge impossible?
I can quit Yes, I can quit tangenting whenever I want. Speaking of which, I'm also playing Persona 5.
Oh my god! Okay, I'm taking it back to our original point here. The fucking This Is Halloween bit. We never finished that.
Didn't we?
I thought we did.
What we didn't finish was Naussica.
Yeah,
we
did
did
finish
finish
Nausica.
Nausica, but we didn't finish talking about Nausica.
Wait, did we finish Nausica or not? I'm confused.
We finished watching Nausica.
I know that. No shit. That's why we're talking about it.
Who's on first?
No, like, yeah, we just watched half of Nausica and we're talking about it right now. Missy, what's your speculation for the second half?
Oh, I think we're gonna have some traffic on the I-5 around noon.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I will say this though. I get that this is like the first thing, but like I got major Dune vibes coming from like Nausica, to be honest. Was I the only one?
Oh no, there's
I've
definite,
never seen Dune, and I got Dune vibes.
there was definite Dune vibes with the setup and everything. Also, God, the soundtrack had so much 80s synth, and I loved it.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yes,
really is a
yes.
product of like the late 80s, to be honest, and I love it, but also it feels super.
I'm glad that the late 80s had Patrick Stewart.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
the
Patrick Stewart was there as well.
Well, the dub wasn't recorded until the 2000s, so.
I'm glad
Well-
that the 2000s have Patrick Stewart.
Well, here's the funny thing. Naussica actually has 2 dubs. We watched the Disney dub, but there was a dub made some years before it.
In English or
Yes,
aside
yes.
from okay.
Yes, it was an English dub. And this is going to be a fun story that I'm going to circle back to sometime later in the marathon for certain reasons. And
Oh,
you may
dear.
or may not know why. So,
Oh,
back
dear.
back in the 80s, they tried there was a company that wanted to dub Nausica the Valley of the Wind for a straight to television release in the
Names.
US. I don't remember the studio name, sorry.
Okay.
But now this is a dub of the film that was also heavily edited, keep in mind. It cut out a lot of scenes.
The
Pretty-
original or the one that we saw?
The original.
Okay.
No. The Disney dub's uncut. But no. So the original 80s dub cut out a lot from the thing. It was cut up so badly to the point where it was unrecognizable as the original film, to the point where they even renamed it. That it wasn't called Nausica when it was dubbed and released in the 80s. It was called Warriors of the Wind. A lot of the cast was virtually
I suddenly vaguely remember hearing about Warriors of the Wind.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the cast was unknown. They they were uncredited though. The main
Well, aside
boy.
from the uncredited, I wish we could go back to unknown actors.
Well, okay, but one actor did eventually come out and say, "Yeah, I was in this," and it was Cam Clark who played the male lead in the in the
Oh,
film.
damn. That Cam Clark?
Yeah, fucking Leonardo from Ninja Turtles, Cam Clark.
Anyway.
But no, this was so bad. Miyazaki infamously hated this version of the film to the point where he and Studio Ghibli pretty much have a huge do not cut shit clause in their contracts with the studios in charge of the English dubbing.
And do you want to know how they did it?
And this is how they did it.
If you're gonna talk about a later film, I'm going to say save it until we get to that film.
No, I'm talking about like the way that it was delivered.
Yeah. Well,
It was.
that's relevant. That's relevant to the film I want to bring up later. So.
Oh, right. But yeah,
it's because it's gonna be relevant to a very specific Miyazaki directed film later down the line.
Yes.
So it'll look forward to that story, Missy, because I'm not gonna tell you until we get to that film.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the story. Yeah, a few Ghibli films actually have multiple dubs, which I'm sure we'll talk about as we go on. So
Probably, yeah. I mean, like, just looking at the list, we're probably not even going to be waiting that long for, like, the first one to talk about. Like the first one we're going to be talking about for multiple dubs is like 4 movies away.
actually, the next movie had 2 English dubs.
Oh, Lapta has 2 English dubs?
Yes, we'll talk about. Yes, one was done by Streamline, the same people who did Akira's original English dub, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
Fun.
I have no idea what's going on.
It's okay.
And it's a good it's a good spot to be in for this wonderful marathon. I feel like Willy Wonka in the fucking tunnel scene right now.
Meanwhile, here I am just enjoying the ride of going through the Ghibli movies again. It's good shit.
Oh yes.
Although, genuinely speaking here, we are gonna be at this for a while. Like, we're gonna be here for at least 2 years. I hope y'all realize that.
Fuck.
You're gonna be here?
By the time we're done, I'm probably gonna be 30. That's a depressing thought. Why did we do this?
You're the one who brought this up as an idea to do it once a month.
Wow, I'm a fucking idiot.
We may have to double up our intake if we don't want to do this by the time you're 30.
How about we do, like, just one movie next time again, and if we really feel like it's going too slow, we can move to 2 if we're all comfortable with it.
Yeah. Sounds like an idea,
We'll see,
but would
guess.
definitely have to, like, adjust for time if that were the case.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the reason why, like, I am a lot of the limiting factor here, and I know it.
You know, you're good.
So,
You're Gucci.
damn, I'm Gucci?
Yeah, you Gucci.
I've been promoted to Gucci.
Hell yeah, we love to hear it. Okay, I think we are now actually done with Naussica, I believe.
Yeah, I enjoyed Naussica.
Yay. But, yeah, like I said, I've been playing Bloodborne for Halloween, so...
Yeah?
I've been watching a lot of horror movies, too, but due to the strike, I don't know if I can talk about any of them without being in deep shit, so...
Correct.
Probably best to play it safe, to be honest.
I'm just gonna say, there's one new one I watched that when the strike's done, I'm not gonna shut the fuck up about it on whatever episode is after that.
I feel like there's gonna be a lot of things that we're just going to be, like, spending an entire podcast, like, being all like, this is all the stuff we couldn't talk about while the SAG strike was going on. But now that that is all sorted, we're just gonna fucking dump it all into one podcast.
We're going to need, like, special auxiliary... like a special auxiliary mini-series that's just the two of you talking about all the movies that you saw.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I've been playing Bloodborne. It's not the first time I played it. This is the only FromSoft game that I've ever beaten. So
the only no. Sorry, go on.
What the fuck were you about to say?
Finish what you were about to say, Missy.
No.
I will hold up this whole podcast until you say it.
No, you're gonna hold it up until your ADHD moves on.
Try me.
The silence in here.
Yo,
is
okay,
deafening.
there's something else that... Alright.
No, you're not moving on. Tell me what you were about to say.
I successfully forgot.
What? No! God, did you legit forget? Or are you bullshitting me right now?
Yes, I 100% forgot what I was going to say.
God damn it, anyway.
Oh my god, you can't make this up! You can't make this up!
This better be like its own clip, I swear to God.
Listen,
Yes.
one of the perks of having ADHD is you can just manually derail your own train of thought
Uh-huh.
by thinking of something else.
She's not wrong, to be honest.
Ah! Anyway, so yeah, Bloodborne. I love this game. I enjoy playing it. I get lost easily, and that's why I usually need, like, some form of walkthrough to tell me where the fuck I'm going, but other than that... because I have no sense of direction in this Victorian London town full of angry people. Which is really just London when you think about it.
Yes, go on.
Apologies for all my British viewers.
Apologies for all of Chloe's British viewers.
Apologies to just British people everywhere. Anyway, but yeah, it's a fun game. I enjoy playing it. It's hard as shit, but it's one of the few FromSoft games I don't immediately rage quit. So,
nice.
I have been beating a lot of the bosses. I'm playing on my new Game Plus file, so now everything hits harder. But good
Now
news,
everything kills you faster.
But good news is, so do I. I'm not trapped in there with them. They're trapped in here with me.
Excellent.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else to talk about?
Yes, actually.
Oh. What?
I don't know how often I've actually talked about this. I don't know if I've talked about this at all. But one of my casual interests is VTubers. I think VTubers are like commonplace enough that like if anyone didn't actually know what VTubers were, they could just look it up very easily. So I don't feel like I need to explain it necessarily. But VTubers are doing amazing stuff, and one of my recent jams in terms of music is a very recent release, like last week recent, from a Hololive company VTuber named Nanashi Mume. The track itself is called Mume, and I am not the only one of the opinion that it is comparable to a Porter Robinson song.
Huh.
The audio, the song itself, the animated music video along with it, and just like it's a very it hits you in the feels.
I do like the feels.
And I adore it. And I highly recommend anyone who has not heard it to give it a listen. Especially if you are a fan of Porter Robinson music. Porter Robinson himself did not work on the song, but it hits a lot of those same sound buttons for me. That is my current or at least one of my current fixations.
That's cool.
Yeah. And like I get what you're talking about with it being like a Porter Robinson song. I think you might have even like linked me that song at one point or another.
Did I link you that song?
I feel like it would have been something that you would have linked to me at some point.
If I have not linked it to you, I will link it to both of you.
Good idea.
Okay. I'm excited.
Actually, let me do that. Let me do that right now.
Well,
Y'all can keep going. I've brought up the thing that I wanted to bring up.
Okay, well, Missy's
aside from putting myself on complete blast for my failure to remember.
I mean, you technically did do that, but yeah. But you were talking about playing Bloodborne earlier. That kind of reminded me. I've been doing like a whole like bum rush through my backlog of games that I've been needing to get through, like because like I was like, there's been a lot of games coming out this year that I've just been like, oh god, I need to get through all of these so that I don't have this huge backlog going on. I finally finished Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, you've been messaging me through that one, and that's just been so exciting because you started playing it not too long after I had finished it. So,
yeah, I did, and
it's such a joyous. It was a joyous experience hearing you go about it.
Yeah, turns out like I'm not at that stage anymore where I can do like multiple hours per night of like doing like an RPG, a JRPG or something like that. This isn't 2020 where I was like able to go through like an entire like perfect run of getting every single social link in Persona 5 Royal.
I've also been replaying that.
Okay, but I'm staying on topic, Jazzy. I'm sorry.
I know. I know that was just a brief tangent. That was a 1 second tangent.
I know.
1 second.
You get 1 second, Jazzy.
Okay, one.
As a treat.
Anyway, made it through Final Fantasy 16. Took me a while to get through that. Really fucking good. It kind of blows Final Fantasy 15 out of the fucking water, to be honest.
100%. I've been meaning to replay that 15 to see how it compares, but I've had no motivation to.
Yeah, look. The 15 story is a fucking mess, to be honest.
15, by comparison, is a romp.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's got good elements to it, but the
It's
overall...
a we are traveling to here, and then we are traveling to here, and the real journey was the friends we made along the way, and the friends we lost, and the friends we regained, and...
No, the real journey was a fucking road trip, let's be real.
Yes.
Meanwhile, back in Final Fantasy 16, it's like...
The real journey was the road trips we made along the way.
Oh, God. But yeah, like, meanwhile... Final Fantasy 16's entire fucking narrative from beginning to end was like, oh, okay, this is like a pretty good story. What the fuck is going on here? Oh my god, this is just turning into Ashura's Wrath. Oh my god, it's Berserk now? Oh my god! And then...
I was gonna say, I got huge Berserk vibes from this one.
Yeah, yeah, as soon as you brought up it was like Berserk, I was just like, I can't unsee him as Guts now.
No, there was a scene near the beginning of the game, and I remember I was playing the demo with a friend of mine who was visiting, and there was a scene near the beginning of the game where, like, Clive and, fuck, what's the lady's name? I really liked her, too. Jill. Clive and Jill were having this moment under the moonlight, and they were young at the time, and, like, I started playing Guts' theme from the 97 anime over it, and it fit perfectly, almost to a scary degree.
Oh my
Why
god.
would you do that to yourself?
Because Guts' theme is beautiful, okay? I love Berserk's music, but anyway, go on.
Yeah, similar thing actually happened. In the second battle with, fucking, what's the Earth guy's name?
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember the name. Shit.
Yeah, that huge Titan fight in the middle of the game, where it's just like, that's the moment to me where it really became, like, really fucking good. That fight, I put Forces on in the background, and I was like, holy fuck, why does this work?
Chloe ascends.
Yeah, look, Final Fantasy 16 is going up there in, like, my top 5. Not even just... I'm saying this, like, because, like, it's really fucking good, and, like, I have not had a Final Fantasy game immediately give me that sense of, like, holy shit, this game is so good. Every single time I played it, like, from beginning to middle to end, and I was, like, on the edge of my seat the entire fucking time. I have not had an experience like that while playing a Final Fantasy game since, like, since I played 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say 10 is like it's been a while. Like there's it hasn't been until now that since 10 that I've gotten this feeling of just this constant sense of fun, never wanting to stop. Like, don't get me wrong, I have my positives to say about the games between 10 and 16. It's just that those positives come with some major caveats.
Oh.
Say what you will, I still love 13.
13, 13's my Stockholm Syndrome game. Like
13 has some good elements to it, but I will definitely say this. We kind of need to stop having one of the biggest criticisms of Final Fantasy 13 be it's a hallway game, because as I was playing Final Fantasy 16, I just realized the maps, like, the way that you go through the game, like, in terms of, like, the maps and everything, they're kind of basically built the same way as Final Fantasy 13's was. And that's
are.
And that's when I basically just said to myself, so the real problem with Final Fantasy 13 wasn't the fact that it was just hallways, it was the fact that the goddamn story and the characters involved in it were just terrible.
Well, that and the combat wasn't particularly good, so... Meanwhile, the combat in 16 was perfection.
Yes. Yes. Like, I will say this. The battle system in Final Fantasy 16 is what I feel like the battle system in 15 could have been.
It's interesting because in the game since Final Fantasy 15, it feels like there's always been more attempts to kind of expand upon and improve 15's combat. Like 7 Remake, was and I'll say this, out of all the games to come out of Final Fantasy that had more kind of active hack and slash Kingdom Hearts-esque combat, I'd say my favorite of the bunch is 7 Remake, just because I think it did it the most interesting. Though I still love 16's combat.
Really funny.
Yeah.
I think even Kingdom Hearts combat from 3 onward is going to try to improve on Final Fantasy 15's combat.
You're really not that wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
especially considering Nomura was actively involved with 15 specifically.
Yeah.
I also really just like how dark and really fucked up a lot of shit got in 16. Like I was actually surprised to see that it was going for an M rating, but I will say it earned that M rating.
Yeah, it really did earn that rating, to be honest. And it didn't need to have to go down the gritty route of having characters say fuck every other sentence.
I still need to play 16.
It's a PS5 exclusive, unfortunately.
I have a PS5.
Shit, really? Okay. This is news to me.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask for your deets after the fact for obvious reasons, but anyway. But yeah, Final Fantasy 16, really fucking good. Probably going up there as one of my top contenders, not just for best Final Fantasy games, but arguably Game of the Year personally for me.
It's kind of funny because there were a lot of things I liked in the game that I saw some folks on the internet didn't like. I saw that a lot of people felt like Jill was completely underutilized and that her romance with Clive was forced, but I'm like, I liked the romance.
No, I would argue it's actually one of the best romances in Final Fantasy since... God, I want to say Final Fantasy 6?
Yeah, I'd say maybe since Final Fantasy X, I want to say, because I still like Tidus and Yuna. I almost said Titus, fuck me.
Yeah, Tidus and Yuna's relationship was good and everything, but part of me is just I couldn't really buy into it half the time, but that's just me personally.
Yuna, Riku, and Pain, though.
True.
But yeah.
Consider for a second.
I mean, nobody gets into a group like they did in Final Fantasy X-2 without something happening in the background. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you can't hear it, but I just have the wild grin and just pounding my fists on the desk.
But yeah, I will say, yeah, Clive and Jill had a very well done romance. Funny enough, I like them for the same reason I like Guts and Casca. Where it's this very wholesome, very nice romance in the midst of very dark and fucked up shit going on.
Yeah.
I would argue that was deliberate, and it's also one of the best utilized romances.
I'm fine.
Among all this horrible stuff, you have two broken people finding a tiny piece of comfort in a world that does not grant them that alone.
I'll say that I won't spoil anything, but there was a scene between the two involving a beach that made me cry. I cried in this game. I cried a lot.
There was one scene that made me cry, and it's right at the beginning of the third act. And you know the one I'm talking about because I believe I messaged you about Jazzy.
Let me look back through my messages.
I'm not going to say specifically what it is for spoiler reasons.
Right.
Speaking of video games, also Baldur's Gate 3 is really good.
I
heard it is. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I've been hearing a lot of really good things about it. Fucking everyone I know has been playing it. I just have not fucking got around to it yet, simply because my backlog has still got quite a lot on it.
Okay,
I've not been playing 16. I have been playing Baldur's Gate 3. I find it hard to dislike any character or dislike any party member in the game.
Also, Chloe, I found the bit you were talking about, and yeah, I cried during that.
Good to know it was one of those universal things. But yes, I have heard a lot of really good things about Baldur's Gate 3. I feel like I need to get around to that at some point. It is going to be on my list of games I will pick up once they are on sale alongside Disco Elysium.
Fair. Because Baldur's Gate 3 do be full price. It do earn that full price, but I also respect that inevitably the price do need to go down.
Yeah. Money.
Money.
Yeah. And also, I kind of already have a lot to get through, because, like, I have still got, like, Fate Samurai Remnant to go through, and I've only just and I've almost wrapped up on, like, everything that I want to do in Mortal Kombat 1 before I get along to that, which, quick little tangent, Mortal Kombat 1, fucking amazing. If you fucking love Mortal Kombat, you're gonna fucking love this game. If you liked any of the NetherRealm Studios Mortal Kombat games beforehand, this is gonna be so fucking good. And, yeah, it's been really fun. Probably one of the better Mortal Kombats that have come out since 9 rebooted the series.
Sick.
Hell yeah, I can't wait to. I'm probably gonna ask for that in Baldur's Gate 3 for my birthday, because my birthday is the easy way to get games. So.
Yee.
But yeah, it's been an hour. Do we want to wrap this up?
Probably.
Probably might be a good idea. If we are wrapping it up, then what are y'all fucking doing this upcoming month?
Jazzy.
My partner is visiting me this weekend, like for about a week. So.
Woo!
You mean this weekend, like next weekend? You mean?
Yes. Yeah. What technicalities? I don't give.
Yeah. See, that's okay. I wanted to clarify that because, like, fucking one of my partners has that exact same thing when they say this weekend and it's already the weekend. I'm just like, so wait, they're visiting now? We're gonna do this now? And it's just like, no, next weekend. And I'm just like, why did you say next weekend? So my brain was just like, did you mean that?
You don't need to get stingy on how I say shit, Chloe. You're not my real mom.
Look, my brain has certain ways of doing things, and I'm just like, say what you mean, say what it is, and it's next weekend, because it's like, it's already the weekend.
Chloe, you're not my fucking mother.
Don't you get snippy at me, young lady.
Chloe, speaking of how things work, at time of recording, has the previous podcast episode gone up?
No, actually, and funny story, the main reason why it wasn't is because I wanted to finally re-record my podcast opening intro, but guess what fucking stopped me from doing it constantly?
What?
ADHD.
Woo!
The fucking ADHD gremlin.
You can find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on Twitch, where I stream most weeks, Monday through Wednesday, at twitch.tv/Ozcyphara, spelled OZCYPHARA. That's what I do most of the time. I haven't done a whole lot else, let's be honest.
You can find me on Twitter, Blue Sky. Also, more recently, I am now on Cameo. So if anyone wants to pay me to say silly shit, I am more than happy to.
Pay her to say the fuck word.
Eventually. I guess big thing for me, I didn't upload anything on YouTube last month purely because, like, I had a partner visit, and I was really kind of just like trying to like refocus stuff after the fact. Because turns out, like when you after a partner visits, you don't really feel motivated to do anything else because you're just like, I miss them too much. So
You need time to become human again.
yeah, and then the next thing I knew, I was like not working on
Says the
anything
one
'cause-
person in this group who does not have a partner.
Eventually, you will, maybe. Who could say? But like, fucking, I have a new shortish video coming out this month, most likely before this podcast comes out, but after the podcast for last month comes out, which I'm probably gonna get to trying to get it uploaded by the end of this weekend, purely so
This
that like,
podcast was recorded on October 14th, 2023.
okay, but factually you're wrong. It's recorded on October 15th.
This podcast turns notes upside down. Was recorded on.
Anyway, there's at least one video from me coming out this month. I'm probably gonna try and get two out next month. We'll see how it goes. I had a couple ideas, but it all really depends on the SAG strike still going on. Same thing for December. I might only get one video out in December, but hey, it's gonna be a real big one again. So y'all gonna be happy for that eventually.
Sex strike?
The SAG strike.
My God.
But also, I will probably be able to announce a very big thing that I sent in lines for last month that I will finally be able to announce probably by the next time we do the podcast. So that's gonna be fun. I will be
Shit.
I will be promoting that stuff when it comes out on my Twitter, my Blue Sky, probably on my YouTube as well, depending on how things go with that one. But I'll be promoting it across all my platforms. You can all follow me on Chloe Sunflora across all the platforms on there. But yeah, that's pretty much me. Is that all for y'all?
Yeah.
Okay, then for all of us here at the podcast, thank you all for listening to the Chaotically podcast. As usual, we will be back next month. Until then, I'm Chloe.
I'm Missy.
I'm Jazzy.
And thank you all for listening. Catch y'all later. Boy!
Ah!